So what if I told you the US government has basically got banks out there that have already set aside billions of dollars for people like you, business owners, and the majority of you guys don't even know about it and don't even touch it. Let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a bold promise to you, okay? In the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna learn, or moreover, you guys are gonna learn about how Americans or American business owners, moreover, are getting their hands on cash and they're starting with no money. They may have bad credit, they may have good credit, but there are existing programs out there in the United States of America where you don't necessarily need any money or good credit in order to get your hands on the cash. Let's get into it. So when I speak on this, I'm not talking about grants, okay? I'm not talking about hustle myths. I'm talking about real funding, real money, real moolah, real bling and ka-ching. Money's not the gatekeeper, knowledge is. And the thing is, the system doesn't necessarily reward those people who are the hardest workers. It rewards those people or persons who know exactly where the money's hiding. And this is what we're gonna do on this video. We're gonna start with the most misunderstood funding strategy, or moreover funding source in the United States of America. CDFIs, the hidden money pipeline. So there are lenders out there in the United States of America that are basically designed to say yes when banks say no, okay? Now, nobody else out there has basically got the trust in order to give you the cash. You may be in a situation where you don't have any money. You may be in a situation where you have low credit, let's say in the 500s. This is where the bad boy comes into place, the CDFI. So what does the CDFI stand for? I always talk about them, a community development financial institution. So why do they exist? The reason they exist is to fund people who cannot get money from traditional banks, or who moreover are overlooked by traditional banks. So who are they for? They're for new businesses, they're for minority owner businesses, they're for low to moderate income founders. They're for businesses that are basically underserved or are deemed as being in underserved areas. And yes, they are designed also for people who have imperfect credit. So what do CDFIs care about? They don't necessarily care about perfection. They care about preparation. So how do you get qualified? So you need a registered business. You need a simple plan, okay, of how or exactly how you're going to use the funds. You need proof of the fact that you can repay the money. So you don't necessarily need perfect credit, and that lies in your perfect or good plan. Sometimes, in some cases, you need some basic training or some basic coaching. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, what loan size is a CDFI going to give out? Anything from 5,000 all the way up to 250,000. Now, it all depends on the program. So I'm always giving value. Where do you get them from? Okay, local CDFI lenders or non-profit lenders or SBA partnered institutions. But here's the thing, CDFIs are just the beginning of what you can get your hands on. Here's the thing, there's an even faster option of a way in which you can grab a hold of cash, especially if you're a startup business. Moving on and entering the Don Dada, or the world of the micro lenders. Small money lenders, big leverage. So you don't necessarily need a big loan, okay, in order to start, but you need an idea or a big idea. And first and foremost, you need to grab a hold of the money, moolah, bling, and ka-ching. And that's what this video, in essence, is all about. So that's where micro lenders come in. So micro lenders, what are they? They basically specialize in lending money to businesses, anything from $500, as small as $500, all the way up to $50,000. So who are they designed for? So they're designed for first-time business owners, side hustlers who are turning legit, home-based or service-based businesses, people with limited or damaged credit. So what do they look for? They want a clear idea, a legal business structure, a plan for how you're going to use the money, basically, and then sometimes, in some instances, alternative credit data. So what can you use it for? You can use it for equipment. You can use it for inventory, you can use it for marketing, you can use it for licenses, you can use it for working capital. So why does this matter? Microloans don't just fund your business, okay? They build your credibility to get bigger funding as time goes by. Now, what if I told you there's a way to grab a hold of cash where you don't have to pay any capital or any interest at all? You'd think I'd be absolutely crazy. This is available in the United States of America. Keep on listening. So what if I told you there's a way to grab a hold of capital where you don't have to pay any interest back at all? You think to yourself, I'm crazy, right? No, here it is. And it's actually one of my favorites. 0% interest credit cards. Now, this is how smart funders borrow money, okay? And the thing is, you can grab a hold of tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars at 0% interest. Now, how do you do that? I hear you cry. So how you do it is with 0% interest business cards or 0% interest personal credit, okay? Now, on a personal credit, you can grab a hold of money for longer periods. However, on the business side, business cards are catching up, but normally it's around about 6 to 12 months in which that interest-free period is, and then after that, obviously you're gonna have to pay interest. So here's how it works. Banks basically offer promotional periods, anything from 12, 15, 18. I'm hearing now and have done research into the fact that they even do 24 months of 0% interest. So all that means is you borrow the money and all you're doing is paying it back each and every month without any interest. Now, if you qualify, you can basically fund your business at no cost. You can run ads, you can buy inventory, you can cover expenses without without interest eating you up alive in those first essential years. Now, the key thing is, in this instance, when you've got a powerful tool like this, is you don't swipe randomly, okay? You're basically going to use those cards strategically to pay on time, okay? You obviously want to pay on time, and also to let the business generate revenue, okay? And you've got that time to kick off the business because of the fact that you're not paying any interest at all. Now, in essence, this is how a lot of businesses in America, the smart ones, the smart entrepreneurs, they're basically leveraging this kind of money and they're bootstrapping without having investors come on board, take 10, 20, 30% of their business, which basically drives down any profits or share of the business that they basically have. And if you're thinking to yourself, okay, I haven't got the best credit, even people with not the best credit are grabbing a hold of these types of tools or these types of financial instruments. Now, you've got to remember one thing: there are programs out there, you've got to search for them, that actually care more about your idea than care about your credit score, because the banks, the big banks, you know the ones, the Bank of Americas, the Wells Fargos, the Citibanks, etc., they are profit driven and they care about score, credit profile, is it thin, is it thick, what's the longevity of it, etc. Bad credit and idea-based funding. Now, if your credit is bad, this is something that may actually work for you or may actually work in your favor. Now, here's what a lot of people or a lot of business owners don't necessarily realize. There are some programs out there that will fund, but don't necessarily look so much or focus so much on you not having the best credit. Now, these options basically include non-profit backed startup loans, okay? There are also accelerator and incubator programs out there that you can do research into. So programs like pitch competitions, revenue-based financing, SBA microloan programs. These programs also, I hasten to add, are via non-profits. Also, local economic development programs you should do some research into. There are many other things that they focus on, okay? They focus on job creation, they focus on community impact, they focus on a viable business model or a viable business plan. So they concentrate on all of those things, not necessarily your FICO score. So here's the promise fulfilled: you don't necessarily need money to start a business in the United States of America, of which I've proven, if you do any sort of research into what I've just spoken about, you'll see that that's the case. So it's just a case of you going out there, having the courage to walk into these institutions or do research on these institutions and approach them and get the cash that you guys need. See you soon.